Hey guys, my name's Austin Hanson. Today's episode of Shop Talk, we're going to talk about customers who make a multiple off what you charge them and why those are the customers you want if you're going to build a scalable business. So what does that customer look like? So when I say a customer who makes a multiple off you, it's like if it doesn't get fixed, they're gonna lose money too. So a good example would be any of your heavy equipment operators or farmers. And when I mean farmers, I mean like big commercialized farming, not necessarily the guy growing cattle on weekends. So let's say an excavator boom breaks or it has a crack in it, and they're not going to run it until it can get fixed. That means every minute that machine's not running, they're not making money. So when you come in, say you charge them $1,000 and you can get it that day versus someone who charges them $800 but it's going to be 2 days, the guy charging $1,000 is the better bang for the buck because you're going to get back up and running. The other thing is it makes the difference between doing a better quality work versus doing cheaper work. And there are two main kinds of customers in this world. There's the ones looking for the cheapest price, and there's the ones looking for the best quality. If you can get on with some construction guys, some heavy equipment guys, some commercial farmers, and prove to them that maybe your bottom dollar is a little higher than your competitors, but your quality and customer service is next to none, they're going to call you. Everyone on the forums, when they say stand by your work, do good work and stand by it, that's what they mean. That's how you find those customers who will put quality over cost. An opposite of that is, say you have a guy who needs his lawnmower deck repaired because it's throwing dirt up at him as he cuts the lawn on Saturdays. He's not really, odds are they're probably not looking for the best quality of work. They just don't want dirt in their face anymore, and they want to get it done as cheap as possible. If you're going to race to the bottom, you're going to struggle in business. If you can find that niche market where they're willing to pay for your quality and your customer service and your timeliness, that's how you build a business and you eventually afford the big rigs and the fancy tools and all the new stuff. And those do go hand in hand. That's another conversation for another day, but there's definitely something to said between the guys starting out with like a $10,000 rig like me and guys starting out with like a $50,000 rig and a banknote. Okay, mine's paid for, but I don't really have that first impression of like, this is the guy, he's got the cool truck, that it does play a factor. I don't think it's a big enough factor to justify a $50,000 banknote on a truck and a bunch of tools. The big thing is just getting in with them. I have 5 or so heavy equipment guys who, once a month, once a week, one of them's calling me because my prices reflect quality work. They reflect timely work, and they reflect good customer service. If you're just starting out, and I know a lot of my guys and girls following my channel are, you need customers to run a business. That's just how it is. The only thing is, how long are you going to run around racing to the bottom for your customers? And when I mean racing to the bottom, I mean racing to the lowest price on your customers. Residential customers, I'd say 80% of them, they're more focused on the bottom dollar. You will find good residential customers. I have them. I use them. Or they use me all the time. A good example is actually a new one today. He called me out. He needed some parts made for an old vintage coal stove. And I said I could do it. Gave him a price. The price, to me, it was high. Not high, but it reflected a good quality of work and a good time matter and a good customer service. So, and a good product. If I would have, charged him $200, I would have lost money and wasted my time and wore out my equipment. So when you're new, you're starting out, you got to find customers. I'd say for probably the first year, you're quoting for anybody and everybody. If it's residential, if it's new business, it doesn't matter. After that first year, I keep a detailed list of all of them on my computer. When I write their invoice, I kind of give like a little bit of a customer review, I guess is what we could call it, a review of the customer. And I just say like, okay, they were a good customer to deal with. They didn't argue about price, that kind of thing. And the next time they call, I kind of just look at that review and I go, okay, the last time they called me, they needed it done today. They didn't want to pay more than $100, and and they were kind of really, really picky about things. Those are the customers that I don't do work for. Those are not your customers, or they shouldn't be your customers. They're not my customers. Is what I mean is I'm selling a quality service. I'm not selling a cheap service. So if you're working and you feel like you're selling a cheap service, maybe it's time to reevaluate your clientele list, look at ways to make new ones, get out the door with some business cards and some nice clothes. I'm not talking like dressed like you're going to church, but no holes, nice blue jeans, a t-shirt with your name on it, clean, something. Get out there, shake some hands, tell them what you can do. For bigger companies, I have put together folders of like past jobs that kind of relate to what they're doing. That's a good way to find work. And then it kind of shows them what you can do, especially with me only having that $10,000 rig. It shows them what I can do with the tools I have, So, if you're looking for customers, the first thing you got to define is what kind of customer are you looking for? Are you looking for the customer who is looking for that quality over that bottom dollar, that price, which I feel like most of us are. Some of us, their skill set might not be there though. And that's why I say that first year, you're quoting for anybody and everybody, because first year of business, you're going to learn a ton. You're going to learn pricing. You're going to learn customer service. Even if you have experience in it in the past, you're going to learn new ways, whether it's your new service or it's your calling all the shots. But that first year, I do it for anybody and everybody. If after a few months you feel like, okay, I feel like my customer service is good, I know my quality of work's good, everybody's been impressed, then maybe it's time there to jack up some prices and kind of start looking for that more niche market of they're paying for the best quality, the best customer service, and the best time frame. Same thing. So this job, I went out, I quoted it yesterday afternoon. I gave them two options. I said we could do it mild steel, we could do it stainless. He went with the mild steel. I ordered the steel right then. So end of my day, I always make a steel list, and I will, when it's the day before my delivery day, I'll call and make my order. So ordered the steel, it came in, I had everything drawn up on the computer, was cutting it out on the CNC table when the guy dropped off the rest of the material I needed, and we got the parts figured out. So within a 24-hour time frame, he called me, I looked at it, quoted it, ordered the steel, cut the raw parts, assembled them, and I will go install it after I'm done making this video. So within 24 hours, he's getting his project completed. He's paying a premium price, $500. I think it's $550 for these 3 parts. They're made out of 1/2-inch plate. It's expensive, but I spent an hour there doing measurements. I spent probably an hour drawing up materials and ordering parts. I spent 2 hours actually cutting out and welding the project, and I'll probably spend another hour out there assembling it, especially because they're a new customer. They want to know a little bit about me. They want to know a little bit about them. We were in the same town, so it's a lot of do you know who, do you know them, blah, 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 blah. So I will talk and have a conversation with them for a while, so it all kind of works and ties in together. Another big thing to think about is you want to charge that premium price, but can you hit all three of those? Because if you're charging a premium price and they tell you good job and let's go for it, and you don't deliver, you're probably not going to get called back. Another good example, I was doing an oil change place, the trim around their pits, the actual safety rails that keeps cars from going in. I was redoing those. I quoted them. I think it was like $21,000 or $22,000. Actually, I think it was $24,000. Gosh, I can't remember because it was the beginning of the summer. But yeah, I think it was $24,000, and same thing. Removed all the material. I worked around their schedule. I was timely. I believe I gave it a 2-week window, and after the first week, I was like, oh man, this is going to take me longer than I thought. So I actually came in on weekends to catch up, and I got done with I quoted it for 10 days, or actually 2 weeks rather, so 14 days, 10 business days. But before that 10th business day was up, I was done the day before. I told him if anything needs to be adjusted, I'll come back, do it. Nothing, everything was good. I walked through it with the manager. He was happy. There wasn't any profanity on the job site or anything like that. I came, I got to work. I didn't waste his guy's time. I didn't waste my time. Every minute I was there was a good billable minute. And we got the job done, and they were happy with it. But again, I thought it was a premium price. I thought I hit on quality, time frame, and customer service. And that job was actually even kind of surprising for me because when I submitted the bid, I wasn't even the highest bid. I wasn't the lowest bid. I was right in the middle, and sometimes that's where you want to be. But come to find out, they actually accepted the first guy's bid first, and his was $28,000. And he said he was going to show up on a Monday. He no-showed. They called him, couldn't get an answer. Called him on Tuesday, couldn't get an answer. They called me, said, hey, will you accept your bid? When can you start? And I said, I can start as soon as I get a 50% down deposit for you guys on materials. So once that clears at the bank, we'll get going. They had me a check like that next day, and by the end of the week, the check had cleared. Everything was good to go, and I started working. As I was on the job, I did notice another rig drive by, and I don't know, but he drove by real slow and was looking at what I was doing. So either it was him and he forgot and he was coming to start it a few days late and saw somebody else was on the job. I don't know. Didn't ask. Not my business. Not my monkey. Not my circus, not my monkey kind of deal. But, had he showed up on time, he would have done $28,000 worth of business in, 2, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know what he said. But that's pretty good money. But again, he missed on time frame and he didn't answer his phone, so he missed on customer service. And he didn't do the work, so we don't know what his quality looked like. I will say he had a lot nicer rig than me. But those are just the things. So in that first year, you're learning a lot. Get your feet under you and figure out kind of what you want to do and how you handle customers, what policies work good for you, 50% down and all this kind of stuff. And after that first year, really hit the ground running. Go out just like you did on the first day and find those cream of the crop customers. I didn't do this. I didn't do that until my third year. This is my third year, and this year I have cut a lot of my personal customers out. I used to not have a shop minimum. I used to, if it was a $10 welding job, which didn't happen often, but if it was, I charged you $10. I've always had a mobile minimum though, because of the drive time, the wear, the tear, and all that stuff. But it's getting to the point where you'll get too busy with premium customers that you're running the risk of losing them for servicing your customers who are just worried about the bottom dollar. And that just doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, they're always going to come back to you because you're bottom dollar unless they find someone to do it cheaper. And the people who would come back to you, who are much fewer in terms of population, who are going to come back to you for your quality of work, well, then if your jobs start getting late and your quality of work decays, they're going to go off to the next guy. So it's to compensate for that. I got rid of all my customers. We've moved to $150 shop minimum, and there's one customer that I have left that I will do personal projects for him. But he's also like one of the foremen to one of my bigger commercial gigs that I work for. And he understands. He brought me this like $15 part, and I said, look, I'm going to weld this one, but we're going to have a shop minimum of $150. And he said, oh, well, how about if I just like save up a couple little projects, I bring them to you at once, where it's probably going to be over $150. I told him that'd be cool. And we've done that all summer, and it hasn't been a problem. He has a little, a little hobby farm, and he does a bunch of logging, so constantly fixing that kind of small scale stuff for him. But to find those niche customers, those premium customers, you have to hit on quality, time frame, and customer service. And I know there's guys out there who will do it cheaper. That's great. They service a different customer than I do. I would rather have my days open to go service my premium customers than have to call back 10 people who are worried about bottom dollar and tell them I have to put them aside for my premium customers, because both of them customers can leave you a bad review. And with word of mouth, generally the people who worry about the bottom dollar are going to spread the word of mouth around with other people who are worried about the bottom dollar. Whereas the premium customers, the ones who don't worry about the bottom dollar and they just want to get their stuff fixed so they can get back to making money and hitting their time frame and being a good service industry, hitting their quality, time frame, and customer service, they're going to share that with others like them. The last thing I'm going to touch on today is, okay, well, what happens when your premium customers aren't calling? How do you kind of compensate for that? Well, go find, I'd say 3 things. The first thing you need to do is, if your premium customers you have now aren't filling your schedule, and I mean like your schedule, like if you're working 60 hours a week, that's not just labor 60 hours a week, because you're running a business. You're still, cleaning the shop, ordering steel. You're doing all that kind of stuff. And it's important to keep that in your work flow, your billing, I guess. I don't know exactly how you'd want to word that there, but it's important to keep that in there, because if let's say you're working 80 hours a week, which, and I know because I did this my first couple of years, you're working 80 hours a week and you're getting your bills paid. You don't have the funds to hire someone to split that work in half to where you're only working 40 hours a week and getting everything done, because you don't have the income to pay two of you, because you only have the income to pay one of you 80 hours a week. And I know what you're saying, well, if you're paying one guy 80 hours a week, you should be able to pay two guys 40 hours a week. Not maybe. In most cases, you're probably not actually factoring in the cost of charging time for ordering, charging time for picking up supplies or cleaning your shop or anything like that. You're just charging for the actual physical work you do. So if your premium clients aren't filling a 40-hour work week that can sustain you and grow your business, you need to go find more premium customers. We touched on that before. Get a nice set of your work clothes on. Clean your truck. Make sure everything's neat and where it needs to be. You know, you don't want to pull up to a job site, open the door, and your McDonald's bag falls out on the ground. You want to have a pocket full of business cards, maybe a few folders of what you can do, and go try to get some more premium clients. And actually, we'll say find more work, because that would be like option 1A. Option 1B is another thing I do. I will call my premium clients and say, hey, we have a gap of time. Is there anything you think needs like some preventative maintenance, some crack repairs on any of your heavy equipment, anything like that? Helps build that relationship, helps them know that you want them to succeed, keeps that good customer service. And I mean, as far as time frame goes, if you can show up and charge less to fix a big problem later, or a big problem before it happens, that's good customer service, that's good timeliness, and that's good quality of work. Option 2 would be, well, you got to do the maintenance on your stuff. So if you have some spare time during the week and you know your next week's busy or whatever, do a deep clean in your shop. Make sure you have all your tools. Make sure if you've lost some tools, you go replace them. Make sure your shop's clean, your rig's clean. Make sure your taxes are in order. Make sure there's no big surprises there. And, you know, if it's like one day a week, like on Fridays, I will quit a couple times early to just kind of do a deep clean. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do. And it's not necessarily a deep clean just in the shop. It's a deep clean in the shop or around my house, my property, any of that. Reason being is when I have people come here, I want them to not think the place looks dumpy, so I don't want to have stuff laying around. So the third thing I would say, which is what I have been working on, this is how I have been bridging the gaps between all the customers I let go and whatnot, is develop some products that you can sell either to your customer or to potential new customers. So behind me, you can see the corner of it is a 24 by 24 vertical smoker. I have been building smokers on and off this summer and selling them on like Marketplace. I know trailer ramps I'm known for. That's another one that I still do sometimes. That was a good way to meet customers and whatnot. But smokers, kind of little accessories. Like I have the CNC table now. So I cut out smoker hinges, list them for sale online, that kind of thing. And moving to online sales with stuff I kind of like because it's shop work I can do, and it's when I look down the road at hiring someone to load a sheet of steel and on the CNC run a program that I already knows works, goes over to the press, bends it, or deburrs it, bends it, puts it in a box, packages it, and ships it out the door. I'd be real happy with that. So that's kind of the third thing I do. So the first thing is, if you're out of work, find more work. Either call your current premium customers and say, hey, I've just got a little extra time if anything needs done. And you'll kind of figure out which customers appreciate that and which customers think you're trying to screw them, because you will run into that. And then the second thing is do a deep dive on your shop, replace tools that need replacing, maintenance on your truck, maintenance on your shop, maintenance on your building property, whatever your customers see, even clothes shopping. If you've noticed you have a bunch of holy clothes, run up to the store or order some clothes offline. And then the last thing is develop maybe a little product you can sell online, maybe a little product you can sell locally. I have talked with a store, and it's actually the company that I repair wood boilers for, outdoor wood boilers. They're looking to kind of ramp up foot traffic, and we're kind of looking, they just built a new facility, so they're looking to ramp up foot traffic, and they're talking about selling some of my smokers, so I'm kind of just going through making prototypes and all that, get a catalog made and all that, take them out to them and do that. Last thing I'm going to say is this year in June, my wife and I had a baby, and I have worked outside of the one job for that oil change facility. I have actually kind of only been working part-time all summer. I've been working 3 to 4 days a week because my wife works from home in the wintertime, so I actually watch my son 1 day a week, whether it's, it's kind of just wherever it fits, and sometimes 2 days a week. And I have made more money this summer by getting rid of all my bottom dollar clients and focusing on making my premium clients happy, that I've actually been able to work part-time but generate more revenue for my business. It doesn't reflect tons in my business right now because we just had a baby and that's expensive, but I'm hoping in the coming years, now we're really moving forward, and we actually do plan on expanding to kind of a welding and construction company. For example, the last thing here is next week, Wednesday, I actually have to drive to south of Lansing. It's an hour. No, I take that back. It's actually 2.5 hours away for a job, for a repair. So it's going to be a day trip, but it's leave first thing in the morning and come back late at night. And I used to do those a lot, and I used to look forward to them because I don't mind being on the road and it makes money. But with a newborn at home, I don't like being that far away, and I kind of want to just get to servicing my community and surrounding areas. Another reason I've been looking to push some online sales for stuff. But we were thinking about it, and we are gonna. I do have a background in construction, doing interior finish work and framing. So I'm actually going to look for some interior finish work for this summer. I have a couple nephews that I might like to hire. One of them watches the channel and all that good stuff. So that's just kind of an update, and kind of an update on how to find premium work as a welder, mobile welder, or shop welder. So hope you guys liked the second episode of Shop Talk. I'm gonna try to do this once a week. I don't know if they'll be half-hour videos, but I do like to ramble. If you liked what you see, please give it a like, a comment, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you on the next video.